Okay, here's the mileage of my Ioniq. We are now doing the third oil change for this particular car. We have an oil filter and some oil. We're going to start with draining the old oil out from underneath the car. I have a little GoPro here that hopefully will show a little bit better what needs to be done in order to make this work than my previous videos. First, you have a little cover here. There it is down there. It's got two 10mm bolts in it. And then you have another cover here that is right there that uses three 10mm bolts. And one accesses the oil filter and the other accesses the oil drain plug right there. Oil drain plug on this car is a 17mm, and the bolts that are holding those covers on are 10mm. So I'll get a drain pan under there, underneath the drain plug. Start with, grab a 17mm wrench, which I have right here. Go ahead and loosen the drain plug first, and then take it out with my fingers to let the oil start draining. There we go. For the fact that this is a relatively low mileage motor, the 7,500 mile oil change intervals with full synthetic, the oil is still kind of dark, a little darker than I'd like to see, but that is what the manufacturer recommends for this car, so that is where I'm doing it. I'll go ahead and move the drain pan while that's draining so I can get the oil filter off and change that out. And that should be relatively easy to remove. If it's on there too tight, then you might need a pair of pliers, a pair of oil change pliers or something along those lines in order to get those off. But the old one is off. That's always going to get oil on you. No way around it. Kind of what happens. Grab the new one out of the box. And then I'm going to slide this forward. Now that it's not draining oil anymore, go ahead and put the new SuperTech oil filter on. The SuperTech oil filter is blue, the old one was white. And just a little changing in the manufacturers. A little difference. I don't know who's making the SuperTech oil filters right now, whether they have their own specific company to do it or if they're having somebody else make it for them. Walmart generally has a couple of companies that they use to manufacture their stuff that oftentimes make products for different manufacturers as well. Nice thing about Walmart products is because they're such a high volume buyer of different things, they can dictate what they want to pay to the different manufacturers, and it ends up being a better price. They can make more profit, and then that's why a lot of stuff at Walmart's a little bit cheaper than you find elsewhere, because they buy it in such big bulk, because they're such a large store that they can get a good price on it. Go ahead and get the drain plug back in here. Get that started. And I had a little bit of seepage around the drain plug last time, so for the next oil change I'm going to remember to buy a new crush washer for this drain plug, because I want it to be sealed really well and not have to worry about getting oil drips underneath the car. It wasn't dripping, but there was evidence of a little bit of moisture underneath. So go ahead and get this tightened up here, nice and snug. There we go. And then the next steps are just putting the covers back on. the light back here. Have the cover for the drain plug. That one first. That just slides in place. Looks like it goes this way. Like there, and then it says engine oil on it. Slide that back in place. Get it seated properly. And then put the bolts in. I dropped one of them. Knocked you over. Put that back in place again. And once again, I mainly do these videos because I want to prove that the oil was changed in case I have a warranty issue with the car, which I did with a previous Hyundai I bought and did work on myself. So I go to the effort of filming this stuff as a digital record that I did it, so they can't say that I didn't in case I do have a problem with my Ioniq. So that's one, and the other one looks like this one goes in like that, slides up in place, and this one has 3 bolts. Find the other bolts here. And in case you can't see from your angle where I have the camera, there's what this one looks like when it's in place and what the other one looks like when it's in place. And we'll pause there for now. Alright, for the next part of this video we're going to add the synthetic 0-20 weight oil that I have for it. Let's put you right there. And this is the full synthetic 0-20 weight oil I like to use. When I bought this car, they wanted to sell me a service contract for oil changes, and they listed a really cheap price for it. And then I asked them, well, what kind of oil are you going to put in? They said, oh, we're going to put in like 530 or something like that. And it does say in the owner's manual that you can use that oil, but it recommends this 0-20 weight, probably for best gas mileage and other reasons as well, I'm hoping. So I'm going to stick with a full synthetic 0-20 until the warranty period expires for sure, and then maybe change it out from there to something different. But as long as I got the warranty on it, and Hyundai will fix it if it breaks, I'm going to do exactly what they recommend for it. Alright, that's a little less than 3 quarts. Let's make sure we get pretty close to 4 quarts. Get about 3.5 in here, and we'll start it and check it and make sure that top it off as needed. There we go. That's a little better there. And we'll go ahead and conclude the video there.